Part 12. Finding out the truth in small gift. Eventually, after all that was over, we finally got up and got dressed again. We both mostly enjoyed each other's company for a change. "Thank you for doing that with me, Severus," I finally said. "It's because of how I've grown to feel about you, Paige. That's the true reason why I never said no to you. After all, I believe we needed that final moment as a closing chapter of sorts." I couldn't bear to say anything as I nodded my head in response. I really think doing all that we just did was a much-needed closing chapter for us. The problem is, a part of me doesn't want to let go. Yes, I've grown to unapologetically fall for him over time. "Paige," I heard Severus say. "Yes, Severus?" I glanced into his eyes as sadness formed within them. "I need you to know something, Paige." "What is it, Severus?" "I want you to please know and remember that whatever happens in the future, I'll always have love for you, even if I truly loved Lily for so long. Whether you choose to believe it or not, it's true." "Severus, I was cut off by feeling a soft, tender kiss on my lips. Without hesitation, I kissed him back softly, knowing deep inside that this may be one of the last times we kissed. It almost truly broke my heart inside. I didn't want him to stop kissing me, but he let go as he looked at me. I think we both now realize time has gone by quickly, and things here at Hogwarts could become dangerous soon. Mostly by an inner feeling that we both probably have about the future." He suddenly turned his head away from me as he said, "After today, Paige, I'm afraid I won't be around here very much." "Why, Severus?" "The Dark Lord will need me more, and I won't be here very much as a result. Of course, I will be here and there, just not as often." "Can you please be honest and truthful with me for a change then, Severus? I deserve that at least." "What do you mean, Paige?" "I mean about yourself, your past. What exactly is your role in all this between my father and Voldemort?" He sighed as he turned to look at me. He knew without a doubt I wasn't going to take no for an answer, and I was right at the same time. "Well, the truth is, Paige, I've been a triple agent to your father and the Dark Lord for quite a while. It got more intense after the Dark Lord returned." "What do you mean by a triple agent?" I asked. "Meaning that I simply do a job of a double agent so no one can be able to tell what side I'm on. I provided valuable information to your father about the Dark Lord, while at the same time I would give false information back. He saw that I was still a little confused, so he said it in a way I could understand. Basically, Paige, I worked for your father while pretending to work for the Dark Lord, and letting the Dark Lord know I was pretending to work for your father. This means I worked for both good and bad sides, Paige. It wasn't just one side or the other." I nodded my head to let him know that he had my attention as he continued to say, "As you know, through your friends from the past years, I became a member of the Order of the Phoenix many years ago, before Potter's mother Lily was killed. Even though it wasn't fully agreed upon sometimes, in the end, it meant well to your father. Haven't you realized yet, Paige, I've been protecting you, Potter, and the others too all this time?" I stared at him, not knowing exactly what to say in response. I do recall Harry telling me in the past about Severus being a member of the Order of the Phoenix, and hearing him at the meeting at the Weasley house. Thinking about it, Severus really has been protecting us over the years. My eyes got wide as I looked at him. I grabbed his hand as he looked at me. "You truly are the bravest man, Severus. You really are. I'm sorry for doubting you in the past, that you were purely on the side of evil." He didn't respond back but gave me a simple smile. He let go of my hand as he hesitated. I watched as he pulled his wand and muttered, "Expecto Patronum." I watched as blue came streaming out of his wand, forming into a deer as it came around and vanished out the window. It took me a minute to catch what Severus was trying to say, but my eyes got wide realizing it. "This doesn't hurt me. In fact, I'm purely amazed." "Wait, the Patronus charm being a deer," I muttered. "It's because of your undying love for Harry's mother, isn't it, Severus? Everything you've been doing for me, Harry, and the others is because of her. Feeling the need to protect because you loved her since you were a child." He nodded his head. "Yes, you're correct, Paige. Since you already know of my time at Hogwarts and my past with Potter's parents, from me telling you, Because of me and Lily having a falling out many years ago, I felt the need to have to protect her son because she was gone, especially after learning that Dark Lord was going to be after them. We can't change or be in control of what our Patronus will be, but it ties with our soul. I recall you or Dad saying that our Patronus can change with our soul. Holy shit, Severus. You've been on Dad's side this entire time. You accepted Harry's mother's choices that she made, but you regret some of the choices you made, and yet always loved her. I felt tears welling up in my eyes as he didn't say anything but nod his head with sad emotion. You've been protecting Harry since the first year and still are. Why? I've gone out of my way to protect him, as I've done the same with you, Paige. I've always felt the need to protect the two of you. He looked at me. Before you ask, no, I'm not hurt by this. I'm amazed. I mean, it's incredible. He smiled softly. That's precisely what I wanted to know. Potter is all that is left of Lily, but the internal love I have for her has carried on with Potter. You are the only one I physically meant that I care deeply for Potter and you. So, let me get this straight, Severus. You've been my protector since I was a baby, and you've been protecting me since then and looking after Harry secretly for years. Why didn't you tell me this before? Well, for one, you weren't ready to know, as you were still young. For another, your father wanted me to tell you at the right time. You didn't want to think any different of me if you knew. Severus, I thought differently about you since day one. That's probably why I fell in love with you to begin with. I saw something different in you. I know I should have told you sooner, Paige. I'm sorry. Wait a second. How did you become the half-blood prince then? Because my father was a Muggle and my mother was a witch. It was also a way to honor my mother and her maiden name. The only thing I'll say, Paige, is I had a rough childhood and didn't like my father at all. Similar to Voldemort, as he had a Muggle father as well, right? Correct, Paige. So it's not just a nickname, but who you really are, and that's why you ended up as a potions teacher. Because of the book that Harry had, you were smart as hell. Also correct. Bloody hell, Severus, my perspective of you is really starting to change. I'm glad to hear that. At the same time, you deserve to know these things. I don't share with just anyone. I guess that makes me special then. Yes, indeed. You're very special to me, Paige. You've always been since you were a baby. There's one thing I don't understand. How come Harry doesn't know this yet, Severus? He will know in time, Paige. I promise. In a way, he'll come to know and understand all of this. I turned my back against him for a minute as he looked puzzled. I pulled out my wand and muttered a spell as a small green box appeared, wrapped in a red ribbon. I put my wand away and turned around as his eyebrows widened. What's that, Paige? It's for you. I completely forgot that I wanted to give you something special for Christmas, at least. After all you've done for me, you deserve a little treat. I hope it's not too late. He took the small gift from my hands as he looked at me. It's never too late, Paige, but you didn't have to do this for me. I wanted to. I watched him closely as he unraveled the ribboning wrapping, opened the box. His eyes got wide as kindness spread all over his face. A smile formed. Paige, he started to say, a holiday blank midge. I haven't had this in quite some time. Thank you for this, Paige. I know it's your favorite, Severus. He grabbed my hand and squeezed it. Truly, thank you. This always makes me happy. I didn't think you'd remember this as one of my favorites. I'll take some time to enjoy this soon. We smiled at each other as he let go of my hand and went to sit down carefully. There's one thing I don't understand. What about my father, though, Severus? He turned back around and walked close to me. What about him, Paige? I mean, I know some stuff from reading his journal, but I don't get where that ring came from. I saw it in the same drawer. To put it bluntly, the ring cursed him. Cursed him? What do you mean? You sure you want to know the truth? It's going to be painful to hear. It's okay, Severus. I want to know. Hit me with it. Well, that ring is called the Marvolo Gaunt's ring. It's a Horcrux that the Dark Lord created many years ago when he was young, like yourself, according to your father. A powerful curse was placed upon that ring, which could lead to death for whoever wears the ring. Your father attempted to destroy the Horcrux that was in it, which he did, but it didn't stop the curse contained within it. Dad never told me about any of this, Severus. There's a reason as to why he didn't want you to know, Paige. He knew you wouldn't fully understand all of this up until a certain point. He also knew that I would tell you whatever you wanted to know. So wait, that's why he told you to tell me to read his journal, because I could learn anything I wanted to know from both him and you, I said. Severus nodded his head in response. So that black look on Dad's hand, that was from the curse brought on by the ring? Severus nodded his head again, letting me know that I was right. I felt tears starting to develop as my heart ached. Yes, Paige, I managed to stop the curse from spreading too far in his hand. But he only had about a year left to live. My eyes watered, coming to the realization of Father's death. That's why he wanted you to kill him anyway, even if Draco wouldn't be able to. Correct, Paige, he whispered as he grabbed onto my hand, noticing my tone of voice. So, this means, Severus, that if Dad was to live, the curse on the ring would have killed him someday anyway? I looked up at Severus emotionally as we stared into each other's eyes. My heart broke. It felt like someone stabbed it. I wish Dad would have told me. He stated, Now you understand why I had to be the one to kill him, Paige. I had no choice. As you know from his journal, he knew I had to be the one to do the job. Damn you, Dad. Why did you have to do what you did? A few tears fell down my cheeks as Severus wiped them away and looked at me. I'm very sorry, Paige, but at least you know the truth about everything now. Mine and your father's actions are behind everything and more about me. The reasons for everything that occurred. This was so much information to take on that my head felt like it was spinning. Severus knew I couldn't say anything as I silently became heartbroken with the truth. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like and comment on my videos, including this one, and to subscribe to my channel, as the support means a lot to me, and hit the bell to get notified for when I post new videos. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned. There's much more to be heard.